Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Daily News Weekly, where we highlight the stories from the past week that you might have missed. I am your host, Michael Sheridan. A drug mishap in Spain has parents howling mad after their little babies develop werewolf syndrome.
He changed into Plain Face.
Officials in Spain say at least 17 children were affected when medicine they were given to treat a stomach condition was found to contain a drug used to treat alopecia, according to the BBC News. Alopecia is a condition where a person experiences sudden hair loss. An investigation by Spain's health agency revealed the hairy gaffe occurred at a pharmaceutical company where stomach medicine was processed. According to the investigation, the mix-up happened when the hair drug was mixed in with the stomach medication because the hair drug wasn't labeled properly. Because of this mistake, children were growing hair on their face, but also some of the babies actually developed hair all over their bodies. But don't worry, doctors say that once the children are off the medication, the hair will go away. Now this is a house cat. And by that, I mean the cat's as big as a house. A Philadelphia animal refuge is looking to find this cat a home. The honkin' cat is named BJ and is 2 years old and weighs 26 pounds. That's right, 26 pounds. Now, and this should surprise no one, the photo and the story about this cat went viral. And why shouldn't have? I mean, look at that freaking cat. It's huge. I mean, it's almost as big as the person holding it. BJ is a short-haired mixed, house-trained, and has all his vaccinations. Now, I just also want to say that the people running this animal refuge seem like really decent people doing something really kind, helping to take in animals and take care of them. So we're going to call them the heroes of the week. Keep up the good work. Comments, reading the comments. Last week we talked about underwear and the fact that people don't change their underwear as often as you might hope that they do. Carpo719 on YouTube wrote, "Not everybody has a nasty crotch. 2 days isn't so bad as long as you're not partying. I'm sorry to hear that your underwear," I presume he's referring to me, "is a containment vessel. Most of us wear it to keep our package protected. So far, I have no poop dripping down my leg." Well, that's really great. And I'm sure your poop doesn't stink, your farts don't smell, and when you burp, it's rainbows. No. Everybody has fecal matter coming out of their bodies, all right? It happens. Just because you don't see it or don't realize it's there doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And it's a small percentage, perhaps, but it's there. So get over yourself. Elaine Sorry, I'm butchering this name. On Facebook was also disgusted. Sick not to shower and to change underwear daily. And these people probably don't brush their teeth often. And Peter Farrell on Facebook wrote, "Personally, I change my underwear at least twice a day." That's good. Maybe a little extreme, but good. And Purdy5000 on YouTube wrote, "I don't wear underwear sometimes. I feel comfortable like this." Yeah, free as a bird. And our last comment was just a mark about the episode in general. Scott Barman on Facebook wrote, "Last week you started with 2 stories about penises. This week you start with a story about underwear. Are you trying to tell us something?" Yes, I am. That I have the sense of humor of a 6-year-old. Now, this election process in a small town in Michigan seemed like a very mundane process where even the mayor is running unopposed. This was all until one candidate made a statement that shocked everyone. During a city council forum that was being hosted by a moderator and featured all the candidates, the moderator asked a very simple question about diversity in the community and if, perhaps, elected officials should do more in order to attract perhaps foreign-born people to move there in order to increase the diversity in the community. It was really just a question about should that be. It wasn't even saying that it was an issue or wasn't an issue. It was just a question of, is this something that maybe we should look into to find a way to improve diversity in the town? Now that's when first-time candidate Gene Kramer spoke up. And according to the Port Huron Times-Herald, offered her view about diversity in the town of Marysville. Keep Marysville a white community as much as possible. Now, no one actually pushed her to answer this question, but that's what she said, and the audio of her statement is available on the local newspaper's website. So you can go there, the link is below, you can check it out and hear her comments for yourself. She also apparently went on to say that there should never be any interracial marriage and people shouldn't have interracial children. So, yeah. Now, it shouldn't surprise anyone, but Jean Kramer did, at least a few days later, come out and say she was no longer running for office. It's known as the Billy Graham rule. Not familiar with it? That's okay, because truthfully, I'd never heard of it until a while ago. But apparently it's a rule that kind of dictates that you shouldn't spend extended periods of time with any woman by yourselves that isn't your wife. Some have also started calling it the Mike Pence rule. Now, a former police officer in North Carolina is claiming he was fired because of it, and he's suing. According to the lawsuit, 51-year-old Manuel Torres, who was a deputy for the Lee County Sheriff's Office for 5 years, back in 2017, was ordered to train a female deputy. He asked not to have to train her based on religious accommodation, saying his, and I'm quoting the lawsuit now, strong and sincere religious belief that the Holy Bible prohibits him as a married man from being alone for extended periods with a female who is not his wife. Torres, who's a Baptist and a deacon, according to NBC News, went on to say that training the female deputy would create an appearance of sinful conduct on his part. Now, he claims that his superiors were upset or angry about his request, and 2 months later he was fired. He also claims that those former bosses sent out negative referrals when he tried to get jobs at other departments. The Billy Graham rule was developed, apparently, from what I can understand, as a guideline that he had developed in the early days of his ministry, that him and his team would be away from their wives for long periods of time, so they developed these rules. There were 4 rules in total, kind of to say, like, look, we're going to be away from our wives for long periods of time. His idea was if you're going to do that, you have a tendency to stray, and it has happened, so he developed the rule that you can't spend time with any woman that isn't your wife. But it isn't specifically, as I understand it, strictly taken from the Bible. It's not a rule in the Bible to say that. It's a rule that Billy Graham had as part of his ministry. Does that really allow for accommodation? Can you claim that it's against your religious beliefs to spend time with a woman who's not your wife? I don't know. What do you think? I think it's an interesting debate question. All right, and that is it. We are done with the episode. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you didn't, please disregard the buttons down below and just move on with your life. I mean, seriously, you don't have to hit the dislike button. You can just watch something else. How about that? I think that sounds like a good idea. I mean, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.